everyone. Shift Call with Jamie Tilly Lowery. This one is called Reprogramming Your Mind with Abundance. Hello, everyone. This is Jamie Tilly Lowery. This is Mindset Shift Session. I'm bringing you a brand new session these upcoming weeks. Going into my birthday month, which is April. Whoop whoop. So I'm excited to bring these different sessions to you. So since we are in the month of March, I want to sort of support the women's movement, the Women's Day or Women's Month, with this particular title of session. So but it's all for your men too. I don't leave out my men as well. So I want to go into the area of reprogramming your mind for abundance. So this is real good. I mean, it's real good with information, valuable information. I've been coming from the angle of reprogramming your mind with. Okay, let me see, make sure, because I'm also on Facebook too. I've been coming from with you from the area of reprogramming your mind for just taking out the negativity, wanted to impart more positivity in your mind. So this is going into a little bit more of how we should use our thoughts, use our minds, and also our words to help give your mind a little bit more of the abundant aspect of programming. So hope that makes sense, but we're going to go into a little bit of what is an abundant mindset, because a lot of times people think when they hear that word abundance, they automatically think of money. They're not wrong, but they're not 100% right too. It does have some type of I want to say connection or correlation, but I want to really emphasize in the area of the thinking capacity of it. And what I mean by that, so I want to get into the mentality behind it, or what really is the basis of you having an abundant mindset. So let's get into it. And I'm only going to really do these sessions for like 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come to you like with a part two, whatever. So I want to make sure that they're very, have some substance valuable to you, so you can move on. But I'm a first, and some of you may not know who I am. Jamie Tilly Lowery. I am from the state of North Carolina, born and raised. I moved to Georgia College, and then got married, had children here. All in a that was very, very collaborating. Short, little bit brief background of me, but I have been fascinated with knowing about how the mind works. So that's why this has been such a sort of like a focal point with me these months, and I believe the rest of the year ongoing, where it's just I've dealt with people that they use this lingo of saying, why do I do this, or why did this keep on happening, or why do I keep going through this particular cycle of this repetition of not seeing results in my life. And I had a question it's got to be something dealing with the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And then I found out, no, it has a lot to do with how you're thinking about what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So I wanted to really start focusing on the area of the mind and how it's important that we have the ability to program our mind. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just feel like, they just go with the waves and the oceans, the waves of life, and just sort of, pick up whatever, environment they live in, pick up their antics, whatever they doing or whatever, So, but you have the control to reprogram it. And it's not is what people think anything's a challenge for you to do, but it's just you taking initiative and the step to do it. So what is an abundant mindset? I did my research on it, and it sort of gives I love how this particular definition, what I found out, this definition is, and it's the abundant mindset is it says abundant mentality has a proactive approach to life and sees possibilities, solutions regardless of the challenges it faces. So when I say that, I say this. I said when you have an abundant mentality, you have you look at things sort of different. Your perspective is different than most people, and it's like, okay, you have a proactive approach, meaning that you don't just sit down and complain and don't do anything about what you're challenged with. You're more so a proactive person, meaning that you take on the approach in a lively way, and it says you see possibilities, and you always you're solution driven. So you're not sort of on the sideline just saying, okay, it's a problem, it's a challenge, it's a situation. It's nothing that we can do about it, but you're more so, and you more so are very positive driven, meaning that you see the possibilities of this. This has to be a solution to help with this situation or problem or challenge, regardless of what it says the challenges that you face. So that's sort of how an abundant mindset works and how it sees things, a perspective of it. It don't ever see a challenge as something that it's just it can't do. Nothing can happen by it. So and it says, for example, I'll just say, for example, if someone grew up in a poverty stricken area in life, and as they was as younger, and it says that it says doesn't mean because you didn't have a lot of resources doesn't mean that you are not resourceful. And I'll repeat that again. So if I was if you were grown, you grew up in where you didn't have a lot of resources, you didn't go to the best top-notch schools, you didn't grow up where you had everything, it was more so you sort of had to fend for everything, then you didn't see a lot of resources, you didn't have a lot of resources, but that does not mean it's saying as you with an abundant mindset, abundant mentality, is more so you don't see as your situation, your challenges that you went through or that you still face as a blocker. When it says that you're not it's not a resource. Because you grew up that way doesn't mean that you are not resourceful. And that was sort of eye-opener for me, because it's a lot of times when people say, well, I didn't grow up in that type of environment. I wasn't raised in that type of environment. I can't, they see other individuals, soaring and being successful. And this mindset of saying, well, I can't do that because that ain't how I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't grow up with, everybody, at my beck and call, giving me everything that I wanted and I desired. I had to work hard. I had to have 5-10 jobs to make that thing work. That don't mean that, like I said, because you didn't have the resources, does not mean that you're not resourceful. So a lot of times, like you've heard a lot of people's stories, I don't want to go into it, but a lot of people's stories of where they had nothing and ended up being very successful, and that was a mindset of abundance, because they didn't see the challenges that they faced early on in life as a disadvantage. They knew it was, but their mind did not let them stay there. It didn't keep them It didn't keep them stuck, and it did not keep them stagnant. They were able to move beyond their circumstances and see the possibilities of if I do work a little extra hard, then I can now have things that I personally wouldn't been able to obtain if any average person would look at my situation. And that's why so many people in the world, they gleam. they're attracted to people who like came out of like of a poverty stricken livelihood, well, you know, environment, and now are you know, pursuing, you know, their dreams and obtaining things that they've never thought they could obtain. And that goes with having an abundant mindset. You would never thought somebody in poverty would have an abundant mindset, just because of where they lived, where they grew up. But a abundant mindset is a choice. I'll say it again. An abundant mindset is a choice. It's what you choose. And that's one thing we have in life is our free will. We can choose to feel like, you know, we can't do anything. Our hands are tied. The challenges that I'm going through, I can't do anything because I don't have this. I don't have this resource. That person has all the resources. That's why they're able to soar. That's why they're able to be successful. That's why they're able to have those businesses. That's why they're able to make all that money. They look at, because they have the resources. But you take somebody in a poverty-stricken area, they didn't have the resources that several people would have, but they made it said it's right here. They look at the possibilities and solutions regardless of the challenges they face. It says it doesn't mean because you didn't have a lot of resources doesn't mean you are not resourceful. And a lot of times when we're in a tight situation, it causes us to now have to be creative. That's good. Hold on. Sorry. It causes us to have to be creative. And what I mean by that, you have known that a lot of people who didn't have resources. Can we go back to when it, you know, far as slavery and people back in that time, they didn't have a lot of resources. Inventors, black inventors back in the time, they didn't have a lot of resources. However, they created things. They were innovators. That's what God put in us, to be co-creators. So when we are put in tight situations, now we turn on a superpower that causes us to create. And when we create things, now we become, you know, more like him to say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the source. If I don't have the resources, I have to create it. I create I create the source. I invent it. So a lot of people that were like in a poverty-stricken type of environment, they still had that co-creator mentality, which was a mentality of abundance, which caused them to tap into that particular power that was in their mind. Abundance. Think of abundance. What is abundance? It's very expansive. It's all about, you know, multiplication. It's duplication. So any type, when you have an abundant mindset, you're duplicating things. You're multiplying things. So when you're in a tight situation, the creative side of you comes in. That power, that genius that was always within you, is now tapped into. It's got to be. It's a pressure is applied to it, because anytime you're in any type of strenuous situation, that's pressure. And what pressure causes you to do, it causes that thing that's within you that causes it that is creative to come out and show you things that needs to be taken care of and take the situation. That's why people that were in poverty situations were able to get out of those situations and soar and be successful, because pressure was applied to them, to whatever God placed in them, and they found resources. If they didn't have them, they created them. And when you have an abundant mindset, people that have that same type of mentality are drawn to you. They want to know what's going on, what you have going on. So when they discover what you invented, they discover what you know, they discover what's actually been put in you, they're willing to invest. They're willing to get you out there, to help you, put you on the display, put you on things that you would never, think in, life that you would be able to see, possibilities that people never thought you would be able to, experience, or yourself would ever experience, because you applied pressure to that thing that was in you that caused that caused the abundance to come out of you, to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do with that. Abundance is multiplication, duplication. It causes things to expand. And that's what God placed in us, to be creators. And that's in connection to having an abundant mindset. So it goes into, it says, instead of focusing on poverty, or if the person was in that particular state, they didn't focus on what they couldn't do. They focus on what they can do. It's sort of like if you say, I don't have all the resources, I don't have everything that I need to make this business or whatever soar and get on its feet and make it launch. I don't really have that type of people don't know me like that. I don't so I can't go but in so many types of rooms. So what you say, you don't focus on what you don't have or what you think you don't have. What you focus on is what you have already. What do you have already? What can I do with what I have already? If you think about, back in, back in years on, and how we can just now in this particular age, we can just flick a light or flick a switch and we got fire. In a house, you got these electronic technology types of, fireplaces where you can just flick a switch and the fire, there you go, the fire. But can you imagine back in the day when they didn't have that? They didn't have that type of technology. So what did they have to do when it was cold outside? What they have to do? They had to be creative. How I'm gonna get warm? How I'm gonna heat? So pressure was applied. They didn't think they had any resources, but pressure was applied. And in that pressure, they were trying to figure out what they could do to get warm. And in the midst of that pressure, what happened was they were able to tap into their power, their abundant mindset to say, you know what, it's got to be a way. it's got to be a way that I can get to get warm, to get some type of warmth. And when pressure was applied, what happened? A thought came, because the abundant mindset tells you that it's got to be a way. There's no limitations. It's got to be a solution to this problem. So in the midst of being freezing, and I have to, it's got to be something that's going to help me get warm. There was a thought generated in their head to say, get them sticks and start putting them together. And they said, they started hitting on the sticks and started rubbing the sticks. And next, they got a spark. And they was like, what is this? And next thing you know, they got a fire. And see, it generated heat. And they realized, oh, sticks. You get sticks and you start doing, put them together. Next thing you know, you can make a fire. Because they figured out that, the wood, if you rub it, at a certain speed, you were able to get a spark and able to get some smoke and able to start a fire. But they could have looked at the circumstance, oh, we just gonna freeze. We're gonna die because we just gonna freeze. But when pressure was applied, that abundant mindset came out and said, you know what? And that abundant mindset is equivalent to your creative ability. And that's what God put in us to be able to create in pressure situations. He wants, to tap in on your superpowers as women, tap on your superpowers as men, because those are the things that are going to change people's lives around the world and impact people's lives around the world. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, you focus on what you do have. So an abundant mindset is very a hopeful. You see hope in everything. Some people may think you're naive. Some of you may say she's just naive because she just think everything's just, nothing's going wrong in the world. Ukraine and they're warring against each other, but she just still like, everything, yeah. She's just hopeful. So the approach to this is saying it is an attitude that there is enough to go around. There's enough things. We got enough resources. Now this is where I wanted to pinpoint with the women this month, since this is Women's Month. We sometimes, women, and I'm not saying men, we're exiting men out of this, but sometimes I look at how women sort of operate with each other. We have a tendency of like, wanting to compare, wanting to, sort of look at you and see what you have, and then I'm going to compare what I have, and I'm going to show you what I have, and then I'm going to show you what I got. So nothing's wrong with healthy. They say healthy when you're in a healthy relationship, competing, but it's more so if it's more so you're intimidating the person to make them feel like you are more or better than. So with an abundant mindset, we have to understand when a person has an abundant mindset, remember that's expansion. I'm creative. So whatever I don't have, I can create it. So if I have an attitude that there is enough to go around, if I see you doing well in your business, if I see someone else doing well with their job, just got a promotion, or somebody just got a mansion, and they're about to move into their mega mansion, or they just got a brand, something real huge happened in their life, and they done went to another level or another, think something great happened in their lives. I'm not at a point where I don't have a scarcity mentality versus a abundant mentality. Abundant mentality looks at that situation. Oh, wait, my time is next. Why? Because it's everything. It's a lot to go around. Because this person got this, don't mean I won't have it, or I don't have the means to get it. The abundant mindset says even though you got that portion, I have my portion too. So I can, in regards, women, celebrate you when you get, an accolade, or when you get a promotion, or when you get a brand new, home, or you get a brand new, car, you have another child, or whatever it may be. I'm in celebration of you, and I'm celebrating you for what you were able to create with your abundant mind. Because that's all it is. That individual was able to create something and have the result happen in their lives. And you as a woman, knowing with an abundant mindset, you can do the same exact thing. Because why? You have that same abundant mindset. Now, a scarcity mindset would say, you know what, she just, she had to do something to get that. It's no way in the world she was able to get that. Or not even say nothing else. I don't want to celebrate her. I don't want to, see her win. I don't want to see, happen, nothing good happen to her. And if she does something great, you just sort of silent, sit back and just look in like, well, why did it happen to me? Why is it always happening to her? Or why can't I have that? Or why can't I get what she got? So that's a scarcity mindset versus a abundant mindset, because your scarcity mindset says it's not enough to go around. She got it. She took it all. Which we understand that that's not true, because as we know, abundance is creative. If we have the power to create and be co-creators, then we can make things go and happen for ourselves as well. We just got to tap into what that particular thing is, just like she did. And see, the thing about it is, it's better to, and I'll go a little bit in detail about collaborations, because it's so beneficial, especially for women, to collaborate with each other, to build relationships with each other, to support each other, because it's important that we soar together, not one individual only on always soaring, but we want to grow and soar together. Those of the like mind, like I say, some people, they just don't. You got some that just don't want to soar. They just like, I'm fine with where I'm at. Don't try to make me do anything any greater. I'm good. But then you have that certain type of woman who's like, no, I'm going all the way. So you want to be able to grow individually and encourage and celebrate each other. That gives you that abundant mindset to say, you know what? She's winning, she's taking herself, getting her, her clients, she's making it happen for herself. She's growing her business, she's developing, she's cultivating her talents, she's doing real well. I celebrate her. And in return, you don't understand the principle behind it. When you celebrate others, it gives you now a position. It gives you a position where you didn't think you had a seat at the table. Now you got a seat. Now you're able to say, okay, let me roll up in here. Let me see what's about to go down. Because now when you celebrate other people, they'll include you in on the conversations that are going amongst them. And they'll see, okay, what is it that you need? What is it that we can help you with? And if you're truly transparent and honest, they're able to help lift you and give you advice and help you get to the next level. Why? Because you were able to not just sit back on the side and just complain and talk, say, they didn't really get that far. And then what you did, you took a back seat versus celebrating and was able to be moved in position to the table. So when you celebrate others, when you want to see them go and see them soar, women, I'm specifically talking to you because it's our Women's Month, right? We saying Women's Month. March is the Women's Month, right? So I'm saying to you is when you collaborate with other people, when you're in groups and we got all these types of groups, especially Facebook. We got all these types of women groups. I mean, it's about 1,000 plus. Women's groups, conferences, events. We have all these different clubs. Everything that you when you are collaborating, it's important that you as a woman have an abundant mindset. Because she's winning don't mean you can't win. Because she's soaring don't mean you can't soar. Because she lives in the 10,000 square foot home doesn't mean you can't have one. She didn't take them all. She didn't buy all the property. It's still some out there for you. There's enough to go around. When you're at a table, it's enough to eat. It's enough for everybody to eat and get full. Don't ever make yourself feel like it's not enough for you. When somebody else has something goes great in somebody's life, don't ever feel like, now I can't really do that now because, she did that. No, tap into your superpower. Tap into your abundant mindset because you have creativity too. Sis, you have creativity inside you as well. Something that's in you that's going to impact the world. Something inside you that's going to impact your home and change your life for the better. So with that type of abundant mindset, it gives you a sense of gratitude, hope, gratefulness, thankfulness. You see my sign right here. You see my sign, gratitude changes everything. It does. It's not just a saying. Because what you do when you're grateful, you're thankful, it positions your mindset to have abundance. Because you're not blocking it with negativity and complaining and dis-ease and worry and stress and jealousy and envy and you're not discontent, disgust, hate. You're not clouding your mind with all those negative thoughts. When you have a gratitude type mindset, you have an abundant mindset, because when things happen, you're really okay. This is good. Let me get in this flow. I see this girl sewing. Okay, let me get with you. I want to get into that flow with you. A lot of women, women they'll see some girls, they'll see that doing well, especially we in this internet age now where Facebook, you can put anything on Facebook, and you would just think she's living the her best life. So some things you may have to be like, okay, don't get so caught up. Don't get so caught up in what's going on with her, or going on with him, or going on with them. Focus on what's going on with you. Tap into what you have. Back in what I said, it said, most people that didn't start off with a whole lot of resources doesn't mean that were not resourceful. And what that means too, I want to break that down a little bit too, because when I say not resourceful, that don't mean they wasn't valuable. That means they don't have that. That doesn't mean they don't have value. When you don't have a lot of resources, that as most other people that you may say, well, they got this or they got that or they got this, that's why they can do that. No, they don't. That's no excuse for you not being able to be successful where you're at as well. That's just telling me I got to tap in. I got to dig a little bit more into what I have that God put in me. Because there's some things in me that's going to impact the nations. There's things in me that's going to impact people's lives. So sometimes that may come to you for you to be more creative, for you to be more innovative. Because the things that are in you are so deep in there that needs to be, it's just like diamonds and pearls that needs to be dug. I got to dig real deep. Because the things that are in you are going to be bombarded, are going to be impacting nations. So you may have to feel a little bit more. So those individuals who was like in poverty-stricken situations, and then they did everything they could with what they had. And now you see them like soaring and blossoming. Yeah, their story may not be, roses, peaches, and cream, but it's to the point where they were able to find the resources, be innovative, be creative. And then they were able to get out the situation. They didn't look at the challenges. They didn't look at what they didn't have or where they were. They were able to focus on their abundance, meaning seeing beyond their present circumstances. And that's how we were all created. We were always created to be in solution mode, to be solution minded, to have the answers, and not we're always being bombarded by not having the answer. We were created to always produce the answer, always produce the solutions. So in order for you to be able to have an abundant mindset, that's where it came back to the beginning. Because of the reprogramming, we had to weed out the things that were attacking those weeds, those trees that were growing prosperous, and now it was weeds that were in the ground, trying to shrivel up the good fruit that was in you. And it deals with, what you think, what you see. Remember, we talked about your five senses: what you see, what you listen to, who you talk to, who do you let impart into your lives. Impartation don't necessarily mean somebody sitting down giving you, the one-on-one. It could be just TV impartations. It could be different news partations. It could be different negative talk partations. It could be gossip talk impartations. So all these things have an effect on how you think and how you can abundantly think. Because if you're pouring yourself, filling yourself with a bunch of negativity, bunch of mind, people just being all, all in your circle environment with just all that negativity, all you're going to be thinking on a day-to-day basis is the opposite of abundance. But like I said, we are creators. So even in the midst of those things, we can still say, okay, you know what? Y'all may see it like this, and y'all may see it like that. But there's a way out. There's always a way. It's so funny because I seen this on Facebook. Somebody had a post about a raccoon. He was in a dumpster, right? Some of y'all may have seen this already. He was in a dumpster, and he found a stick, put the stick upside the dumpster, and leveraged himself on the stick, crawled up the stick, and got out the dumpster. And everybody could have their own, philosophy behind that, And my philosophy was like, he made a way out of escape. It was a way he made to escape. He didn't see the, oh, I'm in a dumpster, I can't get out. Somebody please come rescue me, save me. I'm gonna, die in this dumpster. He didn't look at it. He said, no. I may be in the stinky dumpster, but I'm about to find me something to get me up out of here. Because if I don't, I will die. Somebody gonna find me, try to kill me, try to eat me. I'm not trying to stay here. And even in that situation, it just depends on with now his mind. He don't have a mind, but in a way, you look at that situation, he didn't see it. He wouldn't see the impossibilities. He was just like, it's a way out. It's got to be a way out, and he made a way out. Just like people in those types of situations where, I can't see how I'm going to pay this. I don't see how this is going to come through. I don't see how this is going to even happen because I don't have that type of capital in my account. All these things, all these are circumstances. But there is always a way. I don't care what your circumstance is. It's always a way out. It's a solution to everything. It's an answer for everything. So that type of mindset is abundance, which is expansion, which is multiplication, which is duplication, and it's reproduction. So it's all about you tapping into your power, my sister, you tapping into your power, my brother, and seeing what magnitude that God has placed in you. What did he put? What kind of genius did he put in you to be the answer for the world and to impact the world? And see, that's why I said it's no scarcity. And people always say, well, they lack this and they lack that. It's no scarcity on the earth. It's just not enough people to they have the answers. We need more people with the answers and the solutions. There's no scarcity, even when it comes to gas. You see the gas prices going up and inflation going up. There's still no scarcity. Do y'all understand? All that is just a means of distraction and getting and people taking business transactions. While you sitting up here like, oh my God, what's going on? Business deals are going down right now. But there's no scarcity. It's just a distraction of saying, okay, yeah, this went up, that went up, just like anything, but it's going to be an end to it. There's an end to it. Because like he said, there's nothing new under the sun, because it's nothing new that hadn't already happened. This was no surprise to what God did. This is no surprise. But you have to pull on that abundance in you that says, you know what, even though this is happening, there is a resource. I have a source. I have a supply source that's greater than this particular situation. So I pull on my supplies. And in that mindset, to an abundant mindset, knows that it needs multiple streams. It don't just need one, it needs multiple streams. So when this one is closed up, I just go to the next. And when that one shuts down, I just open up that one. So in this time of pressure, in this time of things that you may say, oh, that's a circumstance, that's a challenge, pull on that abundant mindset. Think of creative ways, inventive ways that you can be more resourceful, that you can have more streams coming through in your house, coming through in your family, coming through, just being in a more than enough stage, where when scarcity looks like it's scarcity, you'll still be in abundant flow. I'll say it again. Put yourself in a position where you got so many streams to pull from, where it looks like it's scarcity, but you still in abundant flow. Because this particular thing, oh, gas went up, okay, well, I'm gonna pull from there. Oh, this hit, okay, so I'm gonna pull from there. So that's abundance, expansion. It's all about multiplication. Multiply. And that was a mandate for us as children of God. He said, be fruitful and what? Multiply. So if you don't have anything multiplying in your household, you're not carrying out your assignment. He said, be fruitful and what? Multiply. Be multiple. Be. Have a little bit more going on. Have this going on. Have that going on. Have this going on. Have that going on. So when they say there's a famine in the land, when they say stuff going on, it don't bother you. But why? Because I have this going on. I have that going on. He's my ultimate source. But then, God being an ultimate source gives you the lowdown in your mind, because you have an abundant mindset. You now are in tune with him because he has an abundant mindset. So when you're in a situation where this looks like it's scarcity, you pull on what he says about that situation. What are you saying we need to do? And then he guides you in that particular situation. When you see impossibilities, he'll show you a way. Just like that raccoon. And the great thing about God, he even cares about the animals. He makes sure they're taken care of. So why would he not take care of you? Even that little raccoon, he made sure that stick was gonna be in that dumpster that day that raccoon got stuck in the dumpster. Why? Because he even made a way for him to get out the dumpster. So he was like, you know what? He looks at you way better. You're more precious to him than a raccoon. So know that the abundant mindset is where you want to be. Because it all boils down to this. Reprogramming your mind all boils down to you have an abundant mindset. Because after you get the abundant mindset, you're able to now attract things to you where people are just drawn to you with that same abundant mindset. And you may think you needed this particular thing to pay this or pay that or get out there, and they come to you and say, I'm going to wipe all your debt off. Why? Because you just was in the same arena with them. They see your value. They see your worth. And they see you getting there. But I'm just gonna help you out. Just give you some help. He like, I need some help. He know you need some help. So what do you do? You keep yourself in abundant mind mentality. You'll attract somebody that got abundance. And you know how they say supernaturally things happen? Because you're doing the practical and natural things aside of life. So when supernatural things happen, you're actually doing the natural thing. You're being abundant, you're being positive, you're even though you may not have everything, all the resources on at your hand or at your disposal, he'll send somebody around who got the resources to take care of your situation and somebody else's. And then you get the results that you've always wanted just by keeping that mindset. So see how all trickles down and works together for your good, because that's really where you need to be at. It's for you. So women, don't ever be discouraged when you see another woman getting a promotion, when you see another woman about to get keys to a brand new home, when you see another woman doing well. Why? Because the abundant mindset tells you that there's no scarcity. There's room for you at the table too. You just got to find what it is that's gonna make you soar and impact people's lives. Okay. All right. So that's all. Thank you for joining here too. So I'm gonna come again. This is a good particular topic. Reprogramming your mind for the abundant mindset. So it'll be a part 2 for this. So thank you for all joining. I appreciate that, just the people that are listening, the likes, the subscribes. I think all those things. Thank you for my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, Jamie Tilly Lowery, Facebook, Jamie Tilly Lowery, Instagram, Jamie Tilly Lowery, and also Tilly's Jewelry, because I'm also a jewelry designer. I design jewelry and custom jewelry for people who have vision and want to be inspired by putting a handmade crafted bracelets on your wrist to remind you of the greatness that's within you. So that's where you can find me. Also, like I said, if you have any comments, put those in there. Appreciate your love and support. Much love to you. We win, and I want to see you win, ladies. I want to see you men win. We all can do this together. I want to say this the last thing that I wrote down that was so profound to me, because this is real good, that we have to understand that, as individuals, where is that thought? Yeah. So it's this right here. Collaboration is a strategy for domination. So women, when we collaborate with each other, when we support each other, when we like to see each other, we celebrate each other. It's just a strategy given to us to help dominate in the world, to help others, see us win, see us, in places where people say we shouldn't belong. So people think, in rooms that people may say that you don't even qualify to be in. That's when you're actually impacting people and impacting the world, when you collaborate with other women and men. But as Women's Month, I want to focus on collaborating with other women with like minds and have the same focus and purpose in life, so you can dominate in areas where you should be dominating and soaring in, and not having all the complications of I can't get this because I'm this, or I can't get this because I look like this. When you collaborate and when you come together, you support each other, you celebrate each other, you can dominate in those areas and you can win in those areas. Okay? Just wanted to leave that point with each and every one. And happy Women's Month. Come back with you again next week to talk about again reprogramming your mind for abundance. I'm Jamie Tilly Lowery, and I enjoy this time with you. And know who you are. Don't forget who you are. And you have purpose and greatness in you. Much love.